You land a hit. Now there are 2. You strike again. Now there are 4. In less than a minute, that one simple mistake forces you to face an army. Today, we're analyzing the most dangerous and counterintuitive power there is, impact-triggered duplication. And I'm going to show you why your first instinct is your worst enemy, and what is the only winning strategy. This scenario is a logistical nightmare. But every power, no matter how overwhelming, has a weakness. In this video, we're first going to understand the exact rules of this ability. Then we'll identify why a head-on attack is suicide, and finally, we'll build a 3-step strategy to beat it, including one ultimate definitive solution. Because by the end, you'll understand that it's not about being stronger, it's about being smarter. So, what do we know? First, the duplication is triggered by a physical impact. Second, every new clone appears to be identical to the original. Third, there's no visible time or number limit. But now, let's look at what isn't being said. Do the clones share a hive mind, or are they independent entities that could potentially turn on each other? Does creating them drain the original's energy, or can they multiply indefinitely without getting tired? And here's the most important question. Does every single clone retain the power to duplicate itself, creating an exponential cascade? Because if that's the case, we're not talking about an enemy anymore. We're talking about a potential extinction-level event. These questions aren't theoretical. They determine whether you live or die. And it's by answering them that we find the weakness. Now let's talk about the mistake 99% of people would make. They would attack. It's simple. You're entering a race you cannot win. Let's say you're an exceptional fighter. You can take out one opponent per second. That sounds impressive, right? Except after one hit, there are 2. After 2 hits, 4. After 10 hits, you have 1,024 in front of you. This is exponential growth. In mathematics, it's called the 2 to the power of n function, where n is the number of hits you land. In under a minute, even the world's fastest fighter would be overwhelmed by thousands of adversaries. This is a mathematical certainty. Your strength becomes your direct weakness. The more aggressive you are, the faster you bring about your own defeat. The power isn't beating you. Your own instinct is betraying you. So, if we can't fight, we have to outsmart them. Here is the plan. Control. The goal is to immobilize, not to injure. We're talking about capture nets, adhesive traps, entanglement. Any technique that neutralizes without triggering the power. Think of the techniques used by special forces to capture dangerous suspects. Projectile-launched nets, expanding foams that immobilize without violent impact, restraint devices. In nature, some spiders use this strategy perfectly. They don't bite immediately. They first wrap their prey in silk until it's completely helpless. The idea is simple. Deprive it of its only defense, multiplication. No impact, no duplication. No duplication, and it's just an ordinary adversary trapped in a web it can't break. But there's a problem. If your target is mobile, agile, or simply wary, it can dodge your traps. That's when we move to Act 2. The environment. Use the terrain. Lure it into quicksand. Trap it in a narrow cell it can't leave. Or trigger a trap that buries it under tons of debris. If it can't move, its clones are useless. In 2010, MIT researchers demonstrated that a constrained environment can neutralize even the most adaptable systems. Their study on swarm robots revealed that multiplication is only an advantage in an open space. In a confined area, numbers become a handicap. The clones get in each other's way, create traffic jams, and lose all tactical effectiveness. Imagine this. You lure it into a narrow corridor. It duplicates once. Now there are two, stuck shoulder to shoulder. Another duplication. Now there are four, crushed against each other, unable to maneuver. The corridor becomes their prison. But what if the environment isn't enough? What if your enemy is too smart to fall for these traps? That's where psychology comes in. What if the flaw is in the clones' minds? Here is the crucial question. Are they perfectly united under a single will, or do they possess a budding individuality that can be exploited? In game theory, there's a concept called the prisoner's dilemma. When multiple entities share a common goal but also have individual interests, cooperation can collapse. By creating confusion, sowing doubt, or giving them conflicting goals, you can make them fight each other. Imagine shouting, "The real original is the one on the left! Eliminate the imposters!" If the clones don't share a perfect hive mind, if each one believes it's the original, you just triggered an instant civil war. Or even better, offer a reward. The one who brings me the others wins his freedom. In a 2018 study on swarm cooperation published in Nature, researchers observed that even systems programmed to collaborate can fragment when faced with conflicting individual incentives. Why fight them yourself when you can let them destroy each other? The ultimate solution. But everything we've just seen is tactics. There is a more direct, more elegant method that solves the problem permanently. And it's almost ridiculously simple. The drop. Push it off a cliff. Wait, let me explain why this is brilliant. The power is triggered by a physical impact you deliver. But gravity? That's not you. That's a natural force. You didn't land a single blow. You simply changed its position in space. Isaac Newton is doing the work for you. In physics, we distinguish between active and passive forces. An initial push toward the cliff's edge can be done without a violent impact. A feint, an unbalancing move, a distraction. According to the laws of classical mechanics, once in free fall, the acceleration is constant at 32 feet per second squared. From a height of 100 feet, the impact with the ground far exceeds human survivability, clone or not. This is the perfect neutralization. You didn't trigger the power with a direct attack, you only modified its environment. And nature takes care of the rest. But here's the most important detail. This strategy reveals the power's true weakness. It doesn't protect against the environment. It only protects against direct hits. It's a specialized evolutionary defense, like a hedgehog rolling into a ball. Effective against predators, useless against a forest fire. So, if you don't have a cliff, use the same principle. Deep water, asphyxiating gas, oxygen deprivation. Anything that kills without striking will work. Understand the rules, avoid the trap of a head-on attack, and prioritize control, environment, and cunning. Sometimes the solution isn't to be stronger, but to be smarter. But that's my strategy. What's yours? Would you have used the cliff or a different technique? Share your battle plans in the comments. I'll read every one. If you enjoyed this breakdown, subscribe so you don't miss our next power analysis. See you next time.